I walked into the kitchen and heard my wife whispering to a divorce lawyer on speakerphone. She didn't know I was home early. She was planning how to legally clean me out. What she didn't know? I'd quietly updated the prenup 6 months ago, after finding her secret phone in the laundry. Hey there. We're working hard to hit our first 1,000 subscribers. If you love true, emotional stories, hit that subscribe button. It helps more than you know. Now let's get into the story. I came home 2 hours early because the power went out at work. That's it. That's the only reason I was home that day. And if it hadn't happened, I might still be the clueless idiot she thought I was. I didn't say a word when I walked in. Just dropped my bag by the door, loosened my tie, and headed to the kitchen to grab something to eat. But I stopped the second I heard her voice. She was on speakerphone, talking low, but not low enough. He still has no clue. I'm just trying to make sure I get the house and enough cash to be stable after. It's just a matter of timing. I froze. That was my wife's voice, talking to someone about a divorce, about hiding it from me, about planning to take my house, my savings. The person on the other end replied in a calm, calculated tone. Male. Legalese laced in every word. Has he shown any signs of suspecting anything? Because if he gets defensive, we'll need to move more aggressively on the asset side. I backed out of the hallway like I had seen a ghost. Heart pounding, thoughts scrambling. I didn't walk into the kitchen. I didn't say anything. I left the house, got in my car, drove 2 blocks, parked under a tree, just sat there, trying to piece it all together. It wasn't just a one-time call. She was planning this. And the worst part? It made sense now. 3 months earlier, I had found a second phone in her purse when I was helping her look for her car keys. Just a glimpse, but I saw it. Slim black phone, no case, tucked deep behind a zipped pocket. I asked about it. She said it was an old backup, something for work logins. But when I tried to power it on that night while she was in the shower, it was locked. 6-digit passcode. No fingerprint. Nothing familiar. I didn't push. Didn't want to look paranoid. I figured I'd wait. Watch. See if something revealed itself. Maybe I'd find it again. But I never did. The phone disappeared. Completely. I even searched the house one day when she was at yoga, digging through closets, drawers, her bags. Nothing. I started doubting myself. Until now. That phone wasn't gone. She just hid it better. Probably because she knew I'd seen it once already. But this call? This wasn't doubt. This wasn't suspicion. This was confirmation. She was planning to divorce me. Quietly. Strategically. And leave me with scraps. I needed proof. Not for a confrontation, but for protection. So I made one call that night. My college buddy Eric. A guy who used to jailbreak iPhones for beer money. Now he worked in cybersecurity and owed me a few favors. I didn't tell him much. Just that I needed help unlocking a phone if I found it again. He said, "You get me the phone, I'll get you in. But don't factory reset it, or we're toast." The next week, I played it cool. Business as usual. Hugs, smiles, coffee runs, asking about her work day, complimenting her new hair color. Meanwhile, I studied her routines like I was preparing for a trial. She never left that second phone anywhere I could see it. Until the Thursday after that call. I came home a little late. She was in the shower again. I walked into the bedroom to change, and there it was. Plugged into the USB port on her laptop. Hidden behind a makeup case on her side of the desk. The second phone. I didn't waste a second. Slipped it into my jacket. Texted Eric. Got it. 30 minutes later, I was at his place. He looked at the device, nodded like a mechanic inspecting a broken-down car. "Give me 2 hours," he said. No promises. I sat on his couch in silence, listening to the hum of his setup while he worked some backdoor software and bypass tools. Then, just past midnight, he looked up and said one word. Unlocked. He handed it to me. And what I saw was just the beginning of something far uglier than I imagined. I sat in Eric's apartment staring at the screen. My hands weren't shaking. Not out of fear, not out of rage. Just still. I expected texts. Maybe some shady messages, flirty stuff, DMs from a guy she said was just a colleague. What I didn't expect. An entire second life. The phone had its own email address. A separate Apple ID. Dozens of contacts I'd never seen before. Some saved under nothing but initials. Others with names like Nora, Cover, or T, Alt-Shift. Photos. Hundreds of them. Some screenshots of calendars, Venmo payments, dinner reservations. Others of hotel rooms. Wine glasses. The same perfume bottle I bought her. Next to a toothbrush that wasn't mine. Then there were the pictures with him. Tall. Mid-40s. Well-dressed. Same guy in at least a dozen shots. sometimes smiling with her, sometimes just his hands or his reflection in a window behind her. One video, taken in a hotel room, made my stomach turn. They were toasting champagne. He said, "To freedom soon." She clinked her glass and said, "Just gotta make it clean." It wasn't just an affair. It was collaboration. She'd been plotting this with him for months, lining up her exit, pretending everything was fine with me, smiling in our photos, cuddling during movies, saying, "I love you," while hiding a secret phone with trip itineraries. One screenshot in particular stood out. It was an email to a law firm, the same one I'd heard on speaker in the kitchen. Subject line, "Timeline for exit strategy." There was a whole PDF attached. Eric opened it on his system. It laid out a proposed financial breakdown post-divorce, assets to request, alimony expectations, evidence strategies. She had even listed emotional instability as a possible angle to secure more money. That one hit hard, because I had been unstable once. Years ago, after my dad died, I went through a depressive slump and she helped me through it. Or at least I thought she had. I thought that was love. But apparently, it was a future bargaining chip. She was documenting my grief to use it in court someday. The worst part? I probably would have given her everything if she had just asked. But now? No, not a chance. This wasn't a person I loved. This was someone I housed, fed, trusted, protected. And she was building a legal bomb in secret. With someone else's help. Someone else's body. Someone else's hand resting on her thigh in hotel lobby selfies. I sat back and exhaled through my teeth. "You good?" Eric asked. I nodded. "I need 2 copies of everything. One digital, one printed." He didn't even question it. Just said, "Done." I left with a flash drive, 2 manila folders, and a storm brewing in my gut. But I didn't confront her. That's what she was expecting. Drama. Tears. Maybe a panicked confession. Or maybe she'd twist it around, say I invaded her privacy. Flip it on me. Cry and make me look like the bad guy. No, that wasn't going to happen. I needed something better. Something public. Something with weight. She wanted clean? I'd give her clean. But not in the way she hoped. I didn't sleep that night. Not from stress, clarity. I hadn't felt that focused in years. It's funny. Before this, I thought I was slipping. That maybe the connection between us had just faded over time and that I was the one missing something. But now I saw it for what it was. Manipulation, fed to me in small, daily doses. I woke up before her, made coffee, and smiled when she walked in wearing his hoodie. I recognized it from one of the hotel selfies. She kissed me on the cheek. Told me she was going to the gym later. She didn't know I had her second phone cloned. Everything she did now pinged on a private server Eric set up. Messages, location data, even call logs. By 11:17 a.m., she texted someone saved as GH. "Dinner's on. Let's not slip. I'll say it's a family gathering. Be normal." I copied the number and started digging. It took less than 2 hours to find his full name. Gregory Halson. Senior client at her firm. Married. 2 kids. Facebook set to private, but Instagram had a birthday photo posted by someone tagged Mrs. Halson, a woman named Claudia. Claudia Halson. Private profile. Married since 2009. PDA committee. Pure suburban image. I checked the time. My wife was still at the gym. Translation, probably having lunch with Gregory. So I did what any man with nothing to lose and a full server of evidence would do. I drafted a message to Claudia. Kept it simple. Short. Attached 4 photos, a couple of texts, and a note that said, "I'm not sending this to hurt you, but I thought you deserved to know who your husband has been making hotel reservations with. If you want to talk in person, I'm here. If not, I understand." She saw it 5 minutes later. Read. No reply. I left it at that. But 3 hours later, I got a call from an unknown number. It was Claudia. Her voice shook. "Are you her husband?" "Yes. I want to meet." We met that evening. Public place. Neutral ground. She wore sunglasses even though the sun was gone. She came prepared. Gregory had done this before. Twice, she said. But never like this. Never with someone who actually tried to replace her. The texts between my wife and Gregory were disgusting. They spoke like teenagers playing house. "She won't leave him unless she's forced. I'll file after the anniversary trip. Once we're out, we go big. Beach house, kids maybe. New names." Claudia was quiet for a long time. Then she leaned in and asked one question. "What are you planning to do?" I told her. Everything. The files. The dinner. The guest list. The fact that my wife was planning to host a joint family dinner, ours and hers, as a smokescreen to build goodwill before blindsiding me with divorce papers the next week. I told her how my wife thought it would look better in court if she pretended to be emotionally close to my family during the process. Claudia didn't say much, just nodded. But when she got up to leave, she said, "Tell me the date. I'll be there." We didn't shake hands. Didn't need to. We were allies now. Not out of vengeance. Out of necessity. I wasn't going to waste a cent proving what I knew. I wasn't going to scream or sob or throw plates. I was going to sit across from her, smile, and watch the entire illusion collapse around her. Publicly. Permanently. The night of the dinner, she was glowing. New dress. Subtle makeup. Candles on the table. A playlist humming low from the speakers in the dining room. She kissed my cheek and whispered, "Tonight's about togetherness." It was almost impressive, the act. She was so confident in her plan that she didn't even look at me like someone she was planning to gut financially in a few days. Her parents were already seated when mine arrived. A few toasts. Polite conversation. Nothing suspicious. She floated around the table like a perfect host, topping off glasses, laughing at jokes, holding my hand just a second longer than usual. Because for her, this was the warm-up. She thought this little theater would lay the groundwork for a clean, quiet exit. And then the doorbell rang. "I'll get it," I said, already walking toward it. She didn't even ask who it was. Why would she? Everyone who was supposed to be there was already seated. I opened the door. Claudia stood there, calm, holding a slim folder in her hands. I stepped aside, and then I watched my wife see her. Really see her. Her eyes locked on Claudia like she'd seen a ghost. Her wine glass tipped slightly. She caught it, smiled, forced. I'm sorry, do we know each other?" she asked, voice already tight. Claudia didn't answer. She just walked to the center of the dining room, placed the folder on the table, and said, "These are screenshots of your daughter's affair with my husband. Enjoy dinner." The silence was immediate. Heavy. Almost sacred. My father-in-law opened the folder. I watched the blood drain from his face. He flipped a few pages. Stopped. Looked at my wife. Then at me. "What the hell is this?" he asked. My wife stepped forward. Reached out. "Dad, it's not what you think." Claudia cut in. "It's exactly what he thinks." Then she turned to Gregory, my wife's affair partner. I hadn't even seen him slip in. He'd shown up late, as planned, thinking this was a friendly dinner. Claudia walked straight to him and handed him divorce papers, already signed on her end. "You'll be hearing from my lawyer," she said. "Oh, and I sent these files to your company. Let's see how your ethics policy handles it." She walked out. Just like that. My wife's mother was already in tears. Her father stood up, slammed his napkin down, and stormed into the hallway, muttering something about being disgusted. The rest? Chaos. Gregory turned on my wife, demanding why she didn't warn him. My wife was trying to explain, to spin, to patch. She looked at me, eyes wide, pleading. "I can explain. Please, this isn't." I stood, quietly, reached into my jacket, and pulled out the second copy of the folder. Placed it neatly in front of her plate. "This one's for you." She opened it. Saw the messages. The hotel receipts. The timeline. The call log to the divorce lawyer. Then, the printout of the prenup revision. The clause in red ink. Infidelity nullifies all spousal claims to shared assets. Her lips parted like she wanted to speak. But nothing came. Just a sharp breath. And then, silence. I walked out. Let her sit there. Let everyone see what she really was. No shouting. No scenes. She threw the first match. I just made sure everyone saw the fire. I didn't go back to the house that night. I didn't need to. By the time I woke up the next morning, the fallout had already begun. My phone had 17 missed calls. 4 from her, the rest from her parents, her brother, and even her best friend. One text just said, "You didn't have to destroy her like that." But that was the thing. I didn't destroy her. She did. I just turned the lights on. I let them all stew. At noon, I walked into my lawyer's office and handed him the same file I'd given her. He didn't even have to read the whole thing. Just flipped to the prenup revision I'd made after I first discovered the second phone months ago. One clause. One sentence. Any verified infidelity by either party results in immediate forfeiture of claims to joint property, financial assets, and spousal support. She had signed it. Of course she had. She was so confident in her web of lies that she hadn't even read the updated agreement. Or maybe she assumed I was too soft to enforce it. By the next week, she was served. No assets. No alimony. No house. Her car? Leased under my name. Reclaimed. Her credit card? Canceled. She had to move back in with her parents. And that perfect image she'd built, polished, social, untouchable, shattered. Her affair partner, Gregory, didn't fare much better. Claudia followed through. She filed for divorce, notified his employer, and posted a sanitized, but clear enough, version of the whole situation to a women's support forum that ended up making the rounds online. LinkedIn caught it. His name got flagged. He was placed on temporary leave from the company he helped build. Now both of them were radioactive. I didn't have to say a word. Didn't show up in court. Didn't scream or post anything. Her family? Embarrassed beyond belief. Her dad sent me an apology letter 2 weeks later, handwritten. Her brother tried to ask if there was any way to help fix things for her. I didn't reply, because the truth is, there was no fixing it. She didn't just cheat. She plotted. She tried to erase me from the life I'd built, quietly, surgically, for profit. And in the end, she erased herself. I still had the house, the savings, the car, the calm. Every time I walked into a room, I wasn't the guy who lost everything. I was the one who kept receipts. 3 months later, I was sitting in my own living room, watching the sunset hit the back deck we used to drink wine on. There was no trace of her left in the house. No perfume in the drawers. No hair ties on the counter. Even the smell of her lotion, gone. It was peaceful. Then my phone buzzed. Her name. Again. She had called me 17 times in the last month. Never left a voicemail. Never sent a text, except one a few days after the court decision. You really blindsided me. I thought we had history. History? History doesn't entitle you to rob someone. I never replied. But this time, she didn't call. She sent a photo. It was of her, sitting on the floor of some cramped apartment, boxes behind her, looking exhausted. A caption underneath. If this is what you wanted, congrats. Hope it was worth it. I didn't answer. Because the truth is, it was worth it. Not because I wanted revenge, but because I refused to let her rewrite my story. I had built my life from the ground up, paid off debts, invested smart, helped support her through school, never once treated her like less than a partner. She treated me like a stepping stone, a launch pad for her next life. And when I found out, I didn't burn down the house. I just showed the blueprint to everyone she was lying to, and let her plans burn instead. Word got around. Some people pitied her. Others stayed silent. Claudia and I kept in touch, briefly. She got full custody of the kids, switched jobs, bought herself a used car, and started fresh. Gregory? Last I heard, he was trying to freelance. No one was hiring. My ex-wife? Still posting polished selfies. Still pretending nothing happened. But everyone who sees those photos now knows what's behind the curtain. As for me, I go home to silence, to space, to freedom. I learned something in all of this. It's not the betrayal that hurts the most. It's the performance that came with it. The I love yous while she was planning the exit. The fake smiles. The soft touches. The fake anniversaries. But I also learned this. Silence hits harder than screaming. And the cleanest revenge is walking away with everything intact while they get exactly what they planned to take from you. Nothing. And that's the story. If you're still here, that means you're one of us. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button. I drop new chaos every single day. And trust me, tomorrow's story, it's even worse than this one.